This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's class, we are going to see about your interactive OOPS ALV. So that is called as your interactive ALV. Now, in normal ALV, that means when you are using your normal ALV, what you will be doing, you will be calling a function module, reuse ALV. What is the function module? Tell me. Reuse ALV events get and you will be calling this and you will be getting all your events in IT underscore your events. So where you will be having almost like your 17 events. You will be having your 17 events, and now what you will be doing, so you will be reading the event and we will assign the form name. We will assign our form name and then we will go ahead and write form and end form, and we will be writing our ABAP logic. So this is what you will be doing in case of your normal ALV reports. But whereas when you want to work with an interactive ALV, sorry, interactive OOPS ALV, so when you are using an OOPS, that means you have to create with your class. That means you have to create a class. So in that class, first thing is in the interactive, in the OOPS ALV, we need to create a class and method. So which is nothing but your form and subform where your ABAP logic is. Now you have to link. So where we are going to link this form and subform over here in your IT events, you are linking it. So here also we need to go ahead and link this method, link link the method to a event what we are creating, so these events we can create, okay, we can create our own event, or we can use SAP standard events. SAP standard events. You can go ahead and create your own event, or you can go ahead and use your SAP standard events. Now, if I go ahead and log on to SAP, so let me click on this and I'm going to So anyways, so we are restarting the server, just wait for 2 minutes. So now we need to assign this event. So these events, maybe you do have your standard events, or we can go ahead and create your custom events. If I go here, so the custom events we will be creating in the standard events, you will be using this CL underscore GUI underscore ALV grid. In this, what is the event you want to link? You will be having a hotspot click or double click or button click, like that. You will be having so many events, or if you want, you can go ahead and create your own event. You can go ahead and create your own event. Usually we will be working with your standard events only. When you are working in a IT service based company, mostly you will be using your standard events only. But when you're working on a product based company, you might get a chance of creating of your custom event. You can go ahead and create your custom event. Now see here, events. So events are the actions that are being performed by your user, like your button click. If you have a button, so you can go ahead and create your button, like your download, or when you're double clicking on this, it is going to open your next report in your interactive ALV. So like that, you will be having, you are performing the action. So on the output of your report, whatever the actions you are going to perform, what are the actions that you are going to perform, so those are called as your events. So whenever we are creating the events, events must be linked to a class method. Each event must be linked to your class method. In that method, we will be going and writing our ABAP logic. We will be going and writing our ABAP logic. Whatever the logic we want, we just go ahead and write down that. So to open, so then when the user click on that event, this method will call automatically. This method will call automatically by the SAP. Now, whenever we are linking the method and the event, this method, so when you link this event, when you link the method and the event, so it will convert the method into event handler method. Event handler method. So what is meant by an event handler method? We are defining an event and we are linking the event and a method. So whenever the user click on that event, so this method is going to be gets called. So this is called as your event handler method. So this is what you will be doing in your OOPS ALB. So we do have 5 steps involved when you're creating an event. The first thing is we need an event. What is the event you want? And the second thing is we need to have a method. So where the entire business logic will be. And the third step is we need to link this method as well as this event and this method, and to convert this method to an event handler method. So the fourth one is you need to raise this event wherever you want. You have to raise this event. That means you have to call that method wherever you want. You have to call that method. That means on the display, once the display is completed, when you click on this, so wherever that method is there, wherever you are doing your set table for your first display, after that you need to call this method. After that you need to call this method. So we need to raise this event in any of your existing method. So now when we need to use the command in order to raise this event, or in order to register this event, we need to use a command called as your set handler. You need to use you need to use a keyword called as your set handler. Set handler is a keyword which is used to register the event handler method for that particular instance. So on that particular instance, it will go ahead. So that means when you are creating your class reference, you are creating your class reference and you want to call that method. First of all, you need to go ahead and use this set handler. You need to go ahead and use this set handler. It is a keyword which is used to register the event handler method to a particular instance of a class where the event is used for. Wherever you are going to use that event, so we have to call this with the help of using your set handler. Now, what are the different types of events we do have? In SAP, the events are configured into 2 types. One is your standard events and one is your custom events. So standard events are defined and raised by SAP. Events are defined and raised by SAP. Those are called as your standard events, like your double click or your hotspot click. right click, left click, whatever your normal things, those are called as. For these events, we are supposed to create a event handler method. So the SAP has given you the events, what are the events that we are going to use, but you have to use those events and you have to link those events to your method. You have to use those events and you have to link to your method. So the standard events also must always be linked to your method. So then it will be converting into your event handler method. Then you go ahead and call these events wherever you want using a set handler keyword. Using your set handler keyword, you have to go ahead and call that event. Now, custom events. Events which are defined by us, raised by us, and used by us. So everything we are doing on our own. So that's called as your custom events. That's called as your custom events. Events will contains only your exporting parameters. Event will have only your exporting parameters. It doesn't have your importing, changing, or your returning parameters. Remember that. Event will always have your exporting parameters only. You can't able to. This is one of your important interview question. So this is all about your oops ALV. So now let's go ahead and see if the system is up and running. Just wait for another 2 to 3 minutes. See here, I have created the field catalog, I have created a hotspot, and I have created a breakpoint. I have created a hotspot and I have created my breakpoint. So this is what for the hotspot, I have linked an event. For event hotspot click of which class I'm going to use, the standard class importing. So which is nothing but your exporting parameters. In that event, you will be having only your exporting parameters, e row ID and e column ID will also be there. So whatever you want. So now when you click on that line, this e row ID will capture that line. Whatever the line you selected will be captured by this e row ID. Will be captured by this e row ID, and you can go ahead and use that one. Okay. We'll see that example, and then I'm going to do with your splitter container. So what is meant by this splitter container? So I have created your container, and the same container I want to split into multiple parts. So I'm going to club both of these two things in one report. So that means in first ALV, so if you take this as your container, let me go ahead and take this as my container. This is my container. Now in this container, I have split this container into two parts. I have split this container into two parts. Now in this, I will be going and creating my header details. And when the user click on this, the item details has to be populated in your container, in your second container. Here also, I will go ahead and assign a hotspot. So when the user click on this, it has to open your call transaction code. It has to open your call transaction code. That is what the requirement I'm going to show you. So these requirements, I have given this as a requirement for your previous batches, but everyone are facing an issue with this. So that's the reason I want to show you this. These type of things you will be seeing so many times in your real time. So many times in your real time. This is one of your real time example. You can say that I worked on oops ALV splitter container with an interactive. That means the first splitter container will have my header data. When the user click on that button, it has to show you your item details. The same thing if I go here, I have given you that as your assignment too. If I go here, the same thing in the assignment, the same thing I have given. This is your splitter container. So the requirement on your splitter container. So in the first thing, I need to get the sales order details. So like this, I want my container to be get splitted. I want my container to be get splitted. Now in this, in the first thing, I want to get my sales order details. When the user click on this, the delivery details has to be selected. When the user click on this delivery details, it has to select your, it has to show you your invoice details. In that, I need the grand totals and subtotals. I didn't tell you about your grand totals and subtotals. You have to go ahead and see that. You have to go ahead and see that. So this is also one of your requirement, out of which 50% of the requirement I am going to show you right now. 50% of the requirement I am going to show you right now, and try to practice the remaining other requirement, guys. The same thing I am also going to give you in your SALV, which is nothing but your simplified ALV. So now let me log on here. Now I'm going to the transaction code SE24. Now, so now I'm going to my class. I'm going to class. So now I'll just click on display. I'll just click on change. Now, how you are going to convert this method into an event handler method, I'm going to show you that. In your events, you have to go ahead and create your event. You have to go ahead and create your event. So let's say I'm going to say this as hotspot click. Hotspot click, and now the type of your event. So whether it's an instance or whether it's a static, and the visibility, I'm going to take this as public. Sorry. Public, and now here I'm going to my parameters. Now see here, you can't able to provide your type of your parameters, whether it's an importing, exporting, changing or returning, you can't able to provide. All my parameters are my exporting parameters. Let's say row ID. Row ID, I'm going to take this as site. I don't know whether site row ID is there or not. Row ID. So this is what. Now my event is ready. My event is ready. Now I will go to my method. I will go ahead and say get details. I'm not going to write any code. I'm going to say this as instance and public. Now select this one and select this detail view. Now here you have to provide your event handler. You have to provide your event handler. What is the class? My class name is the same class. You can provide your class name. And if I go ahead and say F4, you can find out your event. Why it's not getting? So now let me remove this one. First of all, I'll go to my events. I'll just say activate. Why my event is not coming up? Why my event is not coming up? Okay, now let me go here my parameters. I'm going to take this as the row ID, and then I'm going to take this as the row ID. Now let me activate this one. I'm just activating my event. Event. Now I'll go to my methods and I'm going to take get details, and then I'm going to take this as instance and public. Now select this one and click on this detailed view, and you go to your event handler for take copy this class and click on F4. You will be finding out your event. Now just click on change. You can see here error. Why? Okay. Or else I'll go ahead and use my standard. Let me remove this. Deleting the method. So let me go back. Let me click on change. So now let's come here. I do have my event. I'll be having my method. So I'm going to say get details, the instance method into public. I'll just go ahead and implement my method. You have to implement your business logic. So I'm just implementing my business logic and just go ahead and activate. Now I'll go back and then I'll just click on this detail view. Now in this event handler for, I'm going to create my event. I'm going to assign my event. Just click on change. Now see here, it has changed to your event handler. Now you need to call this method in your program. You need to call this method in your program. So once you click on this method in your program via what is the keyword you are going to use? Set handler. So we have to call via set handler. Now this event will, whenever you trigger this event or whenever the user has selected this event, this method will call automatically. This method will call automatically. Clear with this? Clear, guys? So this is what we have to go ahead and do it. This is what we have to go ahead and do it. Clear? So now this is how you have to create your custom. If I want to assign my standard, the same thing, just go ahead and say CL underscore GUI underscore ALB underscore grid, and then just say F4 and you will be fine. Just say F4, you will be finding all your events. You'll be finding, see how many events are there. How many events are there? So now if I say, let's say hotspot click. Now this is your hotspot click. And now just say click on your change. Now this is for your standard. This is for your standard. Now activate. So this is how the standard events has to be assigned. Now, if I go to your source code based editor, you can see the same code, what is there over here. You can see the same code, what is there over here. If I go back, see hotspot click. Now, if I go here and if I save my source code based editor, now you can see here the method get details for event. So same here, the method hotspot click for event, hotspot click of CL underscore GUI underscore ALV grid, CL underscore GUI underscore ALV grid, importing what is your hero ID. So you have to provide for this method, you have to provide your importing and exporting parameters. You have to provide your importing and exporting parameters. So this is what we are going to pass in your method. So this is how you will be creating your event handler method. Now you need to call this in your program. You have to go ahead and call this in your program. Let's go ahead and see an example. Now coming to this splitter container, let me come back to my splitter container again. Now, so what we will be doing, the first step is we will go ahead and create our screen. We'll go ahead and create our screen. And the next one is we will go ahead and create our container. Now, in this container, I want to split this container into multiple parts. I want to split this container into multiple parts. In order to split a container into multiple parts, we have to use a class called as CL underscore GUI underscore splitter container. Splitter container. In this, you will be having two things. One is your rows, one is your columns. So how many rows you want to split and how many columns you want to split? Let's say 2 rows and 1 column. So this is how the output will be. So first row, second row, and you will be having only 1 column. Let's say 2 rows and 2 columns. Now it will be having your 4 ALVs. You can split it over here. The 4 ALVs, you can split it over here like this. So how many rows and how many columns you want to split your container, you can go ahead and split those many ways. So if you split it into 3 rows, again it will go ahead and split this container in 3 rows and 2 columns. 4 rows, 4 rows and 2 columns. Or if you want to add one more column, you can just go ahead and add this. Like this, it will go ahead and split multiple. It will go ahead and split your multiple. So this is called as your splitter container. Now this is one sub container, this is one sub container, and this is one sub container. How to pass your ALV to this sub container? You have to use CL underscore GUI underscore container. CL underscore GUI underscore your container. So this is the class which is able to initiate your sub container. This is the class which is able to initiate your sub container. So in this, you have to provide your parent container name, parent container. So if I go back here, see, I've created my splitter container. So first one, my parent container I'm doing, and then how many rows and how many columns I'm just splitting up. And then what is my first container and what is my second container. In this, what details you are going to provide. What details you are going to provide. And see, gr underscore match container is of type cl underscore gui underscore container. Cl underscore gui underscore container. In this, the gr split, you will be having your get container and you have to provide your container name. In that container, you have to provide your ALV, whatever the ALV you want to provide. This is what we are going to do it. This is what we are going to do it. Now, coming to my requirement is my requirement is I want to show the sales order, header details, and the sales order item details. I want to show my sales order header details and I want to show my sales order item details. So in the oops ALV, the format of oops ALV. So the first thing in, so I want to split the container into 2 rows and one single column. 2 rows and one single column. So in the first row, I need the sales order header details to be populated. I need my sales order header details to be populated. And in the second row, I need the sales order item details to be populated. Now, when to populate this? Whenever the user has selected the sales order number. Only for that I need to display the data. I need to display the data of item details. Only for those I need to display. Now, in the item details, whenever user has selected the sales order number, whenever the user has selected the sales order number, it has to open the VA03. It has to open your VA03. It has to open your VA03. So this is what my requirement is. Now let's go and let's complete that requirement. Okay, so let me log on back to SAP. I'm going to SC24. Now, sorry, SC38. I'll just go ahead and create my local. So this time I won't be using any includes. This time I'm not going to use any includes, but in real time you have to write down in your include programming. So guys, when you are going to practice it, try to write down in the form of your includes only. Try to write down in the form of your includes only. Clear? Now I'm going to SE38. So I'm going to say ZR 9 AM, splitter and oops, splitter and interactive. So I would suggest you to go ahead and take these programs so that it can be helpful for you in future too. So whatever the programs you are also writing, please go ahead and take a backup of those. So maybe you might be using some of the function modules and some of the research what you have done. So it can helpful for you in future. It can helpful for you in future. Mostly it won't, because we are going to a cloud based where you have to work with your RAF, where you have to work with your CDS views and your RESTful ABAP programming. So there are some clients, I mean, only 20% of the clients are using RAP and 80% of clients are using this much only. But down the line, 10 years or 12 years, people will go to your RAP functionalities only. People will go with your RAP functionalities only. Everything you have to develop in the form of your RESTful ABAP programming. But after that 10 years or 12 years, you will be becoming as your managers, or we don't know what is our cadet is. Okay, so don't worry about that. So just click on create. Now I'm going to say this as splitter interactive ALV. Splitter interactive ALV. I'm going to take this as executable program. Click on save. So I'm going to save that in your package as well as in your TR. Now, what is the first step I need to do? I'll go ahead and create my local class. So I'm going to say this as no standard page heading. So you have to design your includes, but I'm not going to write with our includes. The first step is I'll go ahead and create my local class. Class LCL underscore LOCL definition. I'm going to take this as final class. What is meant by final? What is meant by final?
We can't inherit the properties.
We can't inherit that into your child classes. So that's the word we need, inherit. So the child you can't able to inherit that in your child classes or in your subclasses. So now I'm going to take this as public protected. So can we change this? Can we change the sequence? Like first, can I give private? Can I then after that protected? No, it must be in your same sequence. It must be in your same sequence: public session, protected session, and your private session. And then I'm going with my class LCL underscore LOCL implementation. And then I'm going to say this as end class. I'm going to say this as end class. Now I will go ahead and create my method. I'll go ahead and create my method. What is my method? I'm going to create method get sales header. Method get sales header, and the next one is I'll go ahead and create method get sales item where I'm going to use my importing parameter. So what is my importing parameter? Sales order number, type VBLN underscore VA, and I'm going to use this as optional. What is meant by optional? Not required. So if I didn't pass optional, you have for sure you have to provide the values. Usually for all your importing parameters, whether you're working with a function module or whether you're working with a class methods, we will keep the importing parameters all are optional. All as your optionals only. Okay. Now the first method I'm going to implement this. So method get underscore sales header, and then I'm going to say this as end method. Now here I'll go ahead and say select star. So I'm not going to work with my field catalog. I'm not going to work with my field catalog. Select star from VBAK into table at the rate data of GT underscore VBAK up to 500 rows. Up to 500 rows. So this is what I'm going to do it. Now the next one is method get underscore sales underscore item. So and then end method, sorry, end method. Now what I will do, I'll go ahead and say select star from VBAP into table at the rate data of GT underscore VBAP, where VBELN is equal to IM underscore VBELN, IV underscore VBELN. VBELN. So I got my details. Now I need to change the properties of my field where the user wants to click. Where the user wants to click. Where the user wants to click, I need to change the properties. For this, you will be having a standard function module. You can get the field catalog via your standard function module. So get the field catalog via a standard function module. So let me go ahead and see that the function module. That show SE11 data type LVC underscore T underscore FCAT. I'm going to click on my various list. I'll deselect everything. I'll just select function module interfaces and I'll just say click on enter. See how many places it has been used. LVC underscore field catalog underscore merge. LVC underscore field catalog underscore your merge. So this is the function module which you can create your field catalog. SAP will go ahead and create your field catalog automatically. SAP will go ahead and create your field catalog automatically. Why I'm using this field catalog? Because where the user wants to select and which event it has to be triggered, where the user wants to select and which event it has to be triggered. So in order to do that, we need to have our own field catalog, but I'm showing my entire table fields. So I need to go ahead and create the entire fields in my field catalog. So in order to avoid that, you can go ahead and use this function module LVC underscore field catalog underscore merge. LVC underscore your field catalog underscore your merge. So now what I will do, I'll just copy this one. I will go here to my program. I'll just say method create fcat importing. So sorry, this is methods. Create fcat header importing. So now it is creating internally inside your method. So this is called as your local data declaration. So I need to get this to my global. What I need to do, I will go ahead and say this as my exporting parameter. Exporting parameter, what I will say, et underscore mara type mara underscore t. So this is the table type for Mara. I'm just going to say this as into et underscore VBAK. Sorry, this is VBAK and then VBAK underscore T. VBAK underscore your, which is nothing but your table type. So I'm going to say this as et underscore VBAK. Et underscore your VBAK. Let me remove this as of now. Do your pretty printer, and now I just save it. Check this. What is the one I have given? Et VBAK. Oh, sorry. No. I want to give this as header, and I have given it as your item. Okay, I have to give this to my header, but unfortunately I have given this to my item. Now just click on check this at the rate. As you are using the hosting variables, you have to use at the rate. Now we have done this. Now I need to go ahead and create my field catalog. So field catalog header, what is my importing parameter? IT underscore VBAK, type VBAK underscore T, IT underscore VBAK and VBAK underscore T, and then which is nothing but my optional, and then exporting parameter. So et underscore fcat type lvc underscore t underscore my fcat, lvc underscore t underscore my fcat. In a same way for sales order item also I need my details. So exporting et underscore vbap type vbap underscore your t. So now I'll go ahead and change this to et underscore vbap, et underscore your vbap. Now in the same way I need to have one more method for my field catalog for your item, so method create field catalog item, and then it underscore vbap type vbap underscore t, and then et underscore fcat. So the same name you can provide it, no issues. Now I'll go ahead and create these methods. What I will do, so I'll go ahead and create method. So create field catalog header, and then I'm going to say this as end method, and then method create, method create field catalog item and end method. So my two methods has been created. Now do your pretty printer and let's check this to see if there are any issue. No issue. Now in this I want to go ahead and call my function module. I want to go ahead and call my function module. What is my function module? LVC underscore field catalog underscore your merge. LVC underscore field catalog underscore your merge. So I'm going to call this one. I'm going to paste it over here. Now here, You can provide your internal table name. You can provide your internal table name, but in our system, in this system, the internal table is not working. The internal table is not working. So how you will be providing? What is my internal table name? My internal table name is IT underscore VBAK. IT underscore VBAK. You have to provide that in your single quotation. IT underscore VBAK, that you have to provide in your single quotation. But this is not working in our case. It is not working in our case. Now instead of that, so that's the reason I have added this IT underscore VBAK to show you this. So that's why I'm not going with my internal table. I'm just going with my structure name VBAK. VBAK. What is my field catalog? ET underscore FCAT. ET underscore your FCAT. Just remove the unwanted stuff what you don't need it. And then raise your exceptions and whatever things you want, you just go ahead and raise that. Ready printer? Let's click on check. No issues. Now here you will be getting all your values. You will be getting all the field catalog values. So your internal table name, so field name, database table name, the corresponding the table name and your corresponding field name, everything will become over here. But now we need to change our properties. Like if I want to go ahead, so how can you change that your properties? If size about C is equal to 0, now you need to go ahead and loop this internal table. So loop at et underscore fcat into data of ls underscore fcat. ls underscore fcat. Now here you need to go ahead and write ls underscore fcat hyphen field name. Field name. So or else you have to go to this, go inside. So field catalog. So now what is this? My field name. My field name, what is my field name? Let's say I want to have my VBELN. Now what you want to do? Sorry, ls underscore fcat. I bet I have used in this case. When what is my field name? VBELN. So because a user has to select the VBELN. So here I'm going to change this as ls underscore fcat hyphen hotspot. You will be having your hotspot. Hotspot is equal to, I'm going to say this as up true, and then I'm going to say modify ls underscore modify. What is the modify statement? What is modify statement? What is modify statement? Open SQL syntaxes. Modify et underscore fcat from ls underscore fcat index site tabs. Site tabs. So now I'm just going to write my end case. So I'm changing my field catalog. Now for this, I'm going to show you one more syntax called as your field symbols. For this, I'm going to show you one more syntax called as your field symbols. What is meant by the field symbol? I think I have already told you, but anyways, let's show you one more time. Field symbol. Field symbol, it will point to your particular variable in your internal table. It will act like a change pointer the change pointer in Java or anything. So that means it will directly point out to that point out to that value to that value. If you change that value, if you change that value, automatically the value will get changed in the internal table. That means you don't need to use your modified statement. That means we don't need to use the modify statement. We don't need to use our modify statement. So if I go ahead and show you this the same way, I'm just looping this one, and I'm going to write down this one more time. So loop at into, we will be writing assigning field symbol. Assigning field symbol. We'll be writing down the assigning field symbol, and you need to provide the field symbols in your square bracket, in this brackets. So I'm going to say LFS. So LFS field symbol underscore FCAD. Now if LFS underscore FCAD hyphen field name. So now I'm just going to say LFS underscore FCAT, and I don't need this one. You don't need to write the modify statement. With one single line of code, it will go ahead and assign. You don't need to worry about what is your site habits. You don't need to worry about what fields you are going to, or whether it is going to update or not. Field symbol will take care of all those things. So from here onwards, I'm going to use my field symbol. This is the inline declaration of your field symbol. Inline declaration. If you want to declare your outside, so what I will take, I will be writing this as field symbol LFS underscore VBAP type VBAP. Instead of data, you will be writing it as field symbol. Instead of data, you will be writing this as your field symbol. These field symbols mostly we will be using in your dynamic coding, dynamic programming. If you don't know the structure, so then we will be using these field symbols. If you don't know the internal table, whether the internal table or structure is going to be created dynamically, so in those cases, we will be using your field symbols. So the dynamic programming, you go ahead and check that. How can we build a dynamic internal table? How can we build a dynamic work area? So in those cases, the SAP will go ahead and use as the field symbol concept mainly. So we used to write these field symbols in so many places. I always prefer to write with my field symbols only. I will never ever use to write with the data declarations. I'll always use my field symbols because the most advantage is, so you don't need to write the modify statement. You don't need to write the modify statement. It will take care, it will be taken care by the SAP itself. So now when you're assigning as a local, so you don't need to pass your field symbol. You don't need to pass your field symbol like this you will be writing. But if you want to declare this as your inline, you need to go ahead and say assigning field symbol, and you want to say this. So whether you want to create it as local data declaration or whether you want to create it as your field symbols. Okay, clear with this? Clear guys? Any questions? So I'm just doing these two things. I'm just keeping these two things. I'll be showing that in your debugging. I'll be showing that in your debugging. In the same way, I'll go ahead and create the method. I'll go ahead and create the method for my item. So LBC underscore field catalog merge. LVC underscore field catalog merge. I'm going to take this as VBAP, and then if size above C is not equal to Z is equal to 0, then I'm going to write this loop at ET underscore FCAT, assigning field symbol LFS underscore FCAT. LFS underscore FCAT. Now the same thing. Now my same thing. Case and this one. I'm just copying this one. So which one you want to make it as your hotspot? Which one you want to make this as your hotspot? Now just do your pretty printer and let's get activate. So I have activated my program. ET underscore F. ET underscore F cat. So now check this. That's it. Now I'll just go ahead and activate this one. Now I have created my program and my class implementation, but I didn't write down any logic for your set handler method. I didn't create any logic for your set handler method. So I want my sales order details, my sales order header details, I want my sales order item details, whatever the field catalog I want, I have created it. So that is what I have done it. Now what I will do, I'll go here to the start of selection, and I'm going to take data geo underscore ALB, sorry, geo underscore LOCL is equal to new LCL underscore LOCL. LCL underscore your LOCL. I have created my object reference. Now I'm going to create my, I'm going to call my screen, call screen 9001. 9001. I just double click on this. I just say click on yes, click on yes. Now I need to provide this, the custom container. The custom container. I go to my layout. I'll just go ahead and draw my custom container, and I'm going to say that is and just say this. Now just close this. I have to close it. I enable my module. So just go inside. Click on this context. I'm going to make program. I'm going to create anything. Just say yes. Now here data, I'm going to create my containers. I'm going to create my containers. So what are my containers? Data geo or geo underscore and type reference to CL underscore GUI underscore custom container, CL underscore GUI underscore custom container, and geo underscore split type reference to CL underscore GUI underscore splitter container. And the next one is I want to display, I want to have my sales order header. So geo underscore head type reference to CL underscore GUI underscore container, and next geo underscore item type reference to CL underscore GUI underscore container. So now I want to display the data geo underscore ALB underscore head type reference to CL underscore GUI underscore what is that? ALB grid. ALB grid, and the next one is geo underscore ALB underscore item type reference to CL underscore GUI underscore ALB grid. So I have created every data declarations. Now it's time for me to create your, what I need to create? Objects. So you need to go ahead and create your objects. Create the objects. So create object geo underscore cunt. So control space bar and just say shift enter. What is my container name? GC underscore cunt. I'm just going to remove this one. I'm going to remove all these ones. And then okay, that's fine. So I'm just going to add my exceptions and I'm going to provide this one too. Now I've created my container. Now this container I want to split. So now I want to go ahead and create an object for the splitter. Create the object for the splitter. So what is that? Create object geo underscore split. Now here you need to provide your parent container. What is my parent container? Geo underscore cunt. So this is my parent container and how many rows I want to have? 2 rows and how many columns I want to have? 1 column. So now it will split the container into 2 parts. I'm just going to remove the remaining everything, whatever you want. You can also align your container with height, width and top where you want exactly this container has to become. Where this, so if you are not providing it, just split that into half. It just split that into half, but if you want, you can provide your details too, wherever you want, from your left side or from your top side, from your width and what is the particular height you want to provide. But if you are not providing, it will just do 50-50%. So if it is 3 rows, then it will be 33.3, 33.3, 33.33. Like that, it will go ahead and split. So it will just divide it into the particular area. Okay, if you are not providing. Now I'll just remove this one. I'm going to have my exporting and then my exceptions. And now this one. Now in this geo underscore split, you will be having a method called as get underscore container. Which container you want to get? So I want to get my first row and first column. First row and my first column. In this, which container you want to pass? So what is my container? Geo underscore header. Geo underscore header is the container I want to get. Now the second one. Geo underscore split, and I used to say get underscore container split get underscore your container. And what is the one second row? First column, what I need? I need geo underscore item. Geo underscore item. So this is my container I want to keep. Now my containers has been set. We have split the container and which container I want to set. We have set that. We have set that. Now it's time for me to call the data. Call the data. So LCL, what is the method we have created? LO, GOCL. GO underscore LOCL hyphen. I'm going to get my header. I'm going to get my header and what I will write, I'll go ahead and write data of GT underscore VBAP. Data of GT underscore VBAP and then, sorry, VBAK, my bad, anything is fine. So because we are creating it as inline. So the next one is create your field catalog. LO underscore CL hyphen get sales field catalog header. Now here I need to provide my sales, I need to provide my internal table GT underscore VBAK and then here I need to provide my field catalog. So I'm going to say this as field catalog GT underscore FCAT hyphen VBAK. GT underscore FCAT hyphen VBAK. So I'm just going to create this as your inline declaration. Now I need to display the data. Display the data. Now, in order to display your data, what I need to do, I need to go ahead and create an object for this ALV grid. So I'm going to create an object, create object GO underscore ALV head. So now here you need to provide your container. What is my container? GO underscore head. So this is what my container I want to fill. So I'm going to fill that with my GO underscore head. I'm just going to fill that. Now I don't want any other things. I'm just going to remove this. I'm going to simply raise my exceptions if there are any issues, and then I'm going to raise this one, and I don't want anything. Now in this, now I'm going to display my ALV. So GO underscore ALV underscore head hyphen set table for your first display. Now I'm not going to, I don't need all these things. So what is my table? GT underscore VBAK. What is my field catalog? GT. So I don't need this exporting also. GT underscore FCAT VBAK. I don't need this filter and sorting criteria. I'm just going to remove this one, and I'll just go ahead and raise my exceptions, and then I'll just provide this one. Now just do your pretty printer and let's get activate your code. I need to activate my Dyn Pro also. So in order to activate this, just click on this object repository list. So this one, and right click over here and just say click on activate. So whatever is not active, it will just go ahead and active this. Now if I say click on execute, you will be getting your first container. See here, the second container is there. See here, the second container is there, but it's not showing any data. So this container you have to do it. And see a hotspot. See here, a normal cursor is showing. When I go here, it is showing it as hotspot. Now this is the button which user is going to be selected. So that is called as your interactive. So and see here hotspot, you got your underline. You got your underline. Now if I go back again to your slash and SE38, let me show you your field symbol too. Let me show you your field symbol. So which your work area as well as your field symbol. Now if I say execute, my debugger has been started. Now I have my ET field catalog where I'm going to have my LS field catalog. Where I'm going to have my LS field catalog. Now if I say F5, so field name, so which is nothing but your mandate. You don't need to worry about this. Next field name, VBALN. Now see here in the hotspot, it is blank. In the hotspot, it is blank. Now when I say this, I'm just going to have my hotspot and I'm modifying my internal table. And now I'm going for my next fields. It is going to your next fields. Now the same way, if I come here and let's say F7, I'm directly jumping to that. And let's say F5. I'm going to my standard. Select all and I'm deleting this. I'm going to have my this one and my field catalog. So my field symbol is assigned. Now my field symbol underscore name. First name has been came up. First name has been came up. Now my second name. So which is X. What I will do, I'll just replace this with space. I just replace. Now my hotspot value is space. Now if I go to my ET field catalog, now if I say here as hotspot, see here it is showing it as space. See here it's showing this as space. When I say F5, F5. See, automatically the internal table value has been assigned with X. Did you write your modify statement? Did you write your modify statement? No, I didn't write. See, that is what your field symbol is. It will directly point out to your variable. It will directly point out to your variable. So the variable value will automatically change when you change this one. So now from now onwards, you don't need to use this one. You have to always use your field symbols. So this is the advantage when you go ahead with your field symbols. Let's click on execute. Now you got your data. Now this time I want to show you this interactive ALV and I want to display that in your next report. So that I'll be showing you in tomorrow's session. Okay, clear with this? Any questions? So tomorrow I'll continue with this and we'll also see the SALV tree, the last ALV and the docking container. So 3 ALVs we are going to see in tomorrow's class, and then we will be going with your the friends class, the wide casting, the narrow casting, and your singleton class and your persistence class. Singleton class and your persistence class. Encapsulation too, sorry, I forgot about that. Encapsulation also. So I'm going to cover all these topics in your tomorrow and day after tomorrow. As I confirm you, this Saturday you will be having your session from 9 to 11. And Sunday also you will be having your session from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Most probably I'll be completing by 10:30 only. Don't worry on that. I know I'm also came from your age only, so I know. So most probably 1.5 hour session to 1 hour 45 minutes session. And for the 11 o'clock and 10 o'clock batch, you will be having a class from 11:30 to 12:30 also on 4th of your Saturday. 4th Saturday. So sorry, 4th March. So 2 classes. So 9 to 11 the ABAP class and 11:30 to 12:30 is your HANA class. 11:30 to 12:30 is your HANA class. Now 9th I will be on leave, 10th I will be on leave, 11th I will be on leave. So whoever wants to go, you can go to your hometowns. 8th, oh sorry, 12th is Sunday anyways. So I'll be back on 13th, and 13th I'll be going to take you as your online session. Most probably for 7 o'clock batch, I will be completing on or before 9th. I'll be completing on or before 9th your ABAP on HANA classes. So we will be having pending over with your OData services, AMDP and ADPC. So which won't take you much time. So most probably I'll be completing on or before 8th, and module pool programming also will be started. It will be gets added on 13th, 14th and 15th. By 15th, your topics will be gets completed at 8 o'clock batch. 8 o'clock batch. By 15th, your topics will be gets completed. And after that, if you want, you can join to your 9 o'clock batch. You can join to the same link where we are going to see our BDC, BAPI, IDOC, scripts, smart forms, Adobe Forms, and workflow. Scripts, smart forms, Adobe Forms, and workflow. So that is what we are going to see. So if you want, you can join to this class, or else it's upon your wish. But you won't be getting access because already your videos has been uploaded. And remember that. So by May 31st, so this is for 7 o'clock batch. May 31st, your link will be gets expired. By May 31st, from there onwards, you can't able to download your videos. May 31st for 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock batch. May 31st, from May 31st onwards, you can't able to download your videos. For your batch, it will be till June 30th. After June 30th, you can't able to access your videos. So try to download as much faster as you can. So don't ask me also. If you're asking me also, I can't able to share you because I'm going to delete those videos too. because of the space constraint, I'm going to delete those videos too. Okay. Yeah, that's all for today, and we'll meet you tomorrow at the same time and we'll continue our session. Thank you all.